everybody, and welcome back to the Youth Academy only Guiseley save on FM23. And today is the end of season review for the season of 2043-44. Did we stay up? Let's go and have a look. Yes, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Guiseley save on FM23, and we are on the end of season review. And this doesn't give any spoilers at all about what's happened in the season, because I think you get that you get the background ticker tape thing, whatever happens, because it's the end of the season, it's a celebration, and everyone tried their hardest. First things first, this thing on my nose is a scratch. Rude got a bit too aggressive whilst playing, so it was my own fault, really. Shouldn't put my face in the way of a dog's claw. But anyway, yes, so let's not comment about the big red thing on my nose. Right, end of season review. The new arrivals. Well, there weren't any. So outs. This really annoys me, this, right? Crimson Mori. The board are content with the deal to sell Crimson Mori. We are pleased to see a decent sell-on percentage clause, which will include the deal, which should mean we receive further money for the player in the future. You sold him! I didn't sell him. The board sold him. So that should be an A+. They should be like, yeah, we did a fantastic job. But unfortunately, we didn't get the 20 million I wanted. But 14.5 million overall when everything's happened is pretty good money for a little club like us. So yeah, that was obviously the big main one. Eldrick Santos, the only other player sold for money. We got a B-, which was good. For that, the season results. So the Sky Bet Championship, B+. The board are pleased. The team stayed clear of the relegation battle in the EFL Championship season. We finished 17th. What were we even worried about? We finished 14 points ahead of Sheffield United at the end of the day. We matched one of our best ever finishes in the league in 17th position. 58 points, negative 13 goal difference. 20 losses, 10 draws, 16 wins was enough to keep us eventually very safely in the division. Sheffield United, Swansea and Wycombe go down. Reading and Bournemouth have gone up, with Derby County, Brentford and West Brom still in the playoffs. West Brom beats... Hang on, that can't be right. Yeah, no, sorry. Brentford have beaten Brighton in their playoff. Derby are currently beating West Brom, and Reading went up as champions. Bournemouth by 1 point. And look at that. I mean, the superior goal difference for Bournemouth, 32, is what got them automatic qualification or promotion over Derby County. But yeah, if we look at the end of the season, basically, we beat Swansea, and then had our youth intake, and we didn't lose after that. So I think the 4-2-3-1, I'll get there eventually, is our tactic, and I don't know why I even tried to change and get it more complicated to play a 5 at the back. But yeah, we had a superb end to the season. 2-0 draws with Barnsley and Coventry. We beat Bolton 3-1 away, beat Sheffield United 3-2 in the crunch game. We were pretty much safe by then anyway. Wycombe Wanderers, we beat them 3-1. Drew with Reading, who won the league 2-2, and then beat AFC Wimbledon, who were mid-table, 2-0 away from home to end the season, which was absolutely lovely. In the FA Cup, a C+, we got knocked out in the 4th round by Sheffield United after beating Reading, so a little bit of a topsy-turvy season that. The Carabao Cup, we got knocked out in the 4th round by Chelsea, a B- from the board. So Burnley, we beat them. We beat Wycombe on penalties. We beat Burnley on penalties. Beat Altrincham 2-0 and then lost to Chelsea 1-0 in a very good performance. So not too bad. Moments to remember. A 4-0 win was our biggest win of the season over Luton. The best game was a 4-2 away win at Cardiff, which was lovely. Crimson Mori getting a brace there and Supreme Dave getting a brace as well of 2 penalties. And our goal of the season came from Jeff Hogg in a 3-1 loss to Luton. I love it when goal of the season comes in a loss. It really does just... it really irks me. It really does. Finances-wise, there hasn't really been a change in club reputation. We did get one new deal for 46.7k a year and 5-year deal worth 233k, which, when you compare us to other teams, is absolutely terrible. So we really do need our reputation to start catching us up, given the fact we're in the Championship. But everything went up in terms of annual revenue, which is good. Although it says broadcast revenue not available. So I'm going to say that's a bit of a bug. Merchandise, we sold 98 shirts over the season. That's not very many, is it? That is not very many at all. So yeah, and then we lined up in the 4 or the 3-4-2-1 or the 5-2-2-1, however you want to call it, which wasn't incredibly successful. So we'll just move on from that, really. Yeah, nothing much there. We didn't get any managerial awards, obviously, but club awards, this is what we're always interested in. Fans Player of the Season, Scott Lloyd in goal, the ever-present goalkeeper Scott Lloyd, which is great. Young Player of the Season, Jevgen Villions wins it in the last year. He's actually able to win it. Now he's 24. Goal of the season was Jeff Hogg. Top goal scorer is Yevgen Villions with 16. Most assists was Graham Cox with 9. Player of the match award, Scott Lloyd with 5. He got the highest average rating with 6.9. And Alex Smurthwaite, a very good young midfielder coming through, got the most passes completed per 90 minutes. Crimson Mori became the highest ever transfer fee received for Guiseley for 10.55 million. But as we said, it could go up to 14, which is pretty good. And Scott Lloyd has overtaken Lewis Salt as the most league appearance player ever, 673, and he's going to add to them next season, I'm sure. So we flew out of the traps and avoided relegation. Ultimately, a successful season for guys. He started superbly and helped them avoid relegation. And then you get the absolutely useless manager timeline, which I honestly don't understand why this is in the game. It doesn't help anything. It really doesn't. Anyway, yeah, that is the end of season review. So diving in to look at the players, this is every single player we have on our books at the moment. We have the the seniors, the under 21s, and the under 18s all in here. If we search by ability, our best player is Carter Nelson, the striker, who we called back from Rochdale, with a value of 700k to 2.6 million. And there's a few things. So he's our best player, and he's one of our best potential players. As you can see, we've got what, according to the star ratings, which aren't always, sensible to trust, we have a number of 5-star potential players, which is very good. It's very good. Even if it's slightly off, that is pretty good for us. But by far and away, our best player is Carter Nelson up here. We also have Graham Cox, who's a 4-star as well. Scott Lloyd's 4-star as well. But, Carter Nelson has room to grow is what we're seeing here. So if we go and look at him and look at a coach report. So what's worrying about this is that his current ability of 4-star, which is the best in our team, is good for an EFL League 2 player. It's not even like amazing for an EFL League 2 player. It's good for an EFL League 2 player. So our squad currently has 3 players in it, which are good EFL League 2 standard players, and then everyone else is below that standard. And we're in the Championship, so we're doing a fantastic job of staying up every year. But yeah, he has the potential to be a Championship standard player, which is where we are. So by the time he should reach that full potential, hopefully we'll be challenging for the Premiership. But yeah, who knows? But that's just what I sort of wanted to show you. It was interesting to see that and see how see what level we're at, to be honest, to have a look at that. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. But generally, overall then, appearances-wise, Scott Lloyd, 52 appearances. He played really, really well. Graham Cox, who's become integral sort of to the attacking midfield role, with his passing, his technique, his good decision-making and his vision. He does pick out a good pass, and he has pretty decent corners of 9, so they're not amazing, but it's good. Free kick taking 13 helps as well. He does score some free kicks and put some good balls in for the likes of Dominic Johnson and Donkor to attack as well. So I like the fact he's got passing 13, vision 13, technique 17, decisions 14, concentration 15, and tries killer balls often, which is exactly what we need from that attacking midfield spot. So he has been very, very good. Now, an interesting one, Dominic Johnson, who's 31, is still one of our starting centre-backs. He's unhappy how we've treated Will Jones. That's because we're not giving him a new contract. But yeah, I mean, a 3-star centre-back. He is technically a 3.5-star no-nonsense fullback, but we're not playing with that sort of position. Sort of one that next season I think is going to have to be phased out. He's been our first-choice centre-back for... Well, I mean, he did it quite a lot in League 2 and League 1, and then had a bit of a half season in the Championship here when we sent him out to Galway on loan, and then has sort of been, our ever-present centre-back, and it's not been amazing. So I sort of feel like Dominic Johnson's going to be one of the players that we're going to phase out this year, although he did have a very good end to the season. Now, on the flip side of that is Justice Donkor, who is young at 21. Very, very similar attributes to Dominic Johnson, although slightly better in certain elements. Good marking, good tackling, concentration's good and going up, which is helpful. Bravery, 16. He needs to work on his positioning, but at 6'5", he is a threat from corners. And you can see from this year, 43 appearances, getting a 6.81. Comparing that to Dominic Johnson, who had like a 6.6 with the same amount of goals and a similar amount of appearances, Justin Donkor is probably going to take that left-hand side centre-back position off Dominic Johnson. So then we've got the question of who's going to be our next centre-back in this in our system potentially next year. And we have a few candidates in here. We have Christian Agnarsson at the moment. Tackling isn't the best, but positioning, marking, determination, decisions, concentration needs to go up again. But aggression, anticipation, bravery really looks like he could be very good. And we've trained him into the traits of short, simple passes because he's got passing 5, so he's not going to try anything too adventurous, just keep it simple. And he runs with the ball rarely because he's got dribbling 3. So we've trained those into him. Again, very tall with 6'3", jumping reach 14, should be a threat from corners as well. 37 appearances, 6.62, needs to improve that. But when you look a little bit more into the numbers, 9 came on as a sub, 28 starting appearances. He does need to work on his consistency, I'd probably say, to get that going. I do think it is the concentration that is letting him down ever so slightly, Christian. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. My plan is probably Justin Donker and Christian Agnarsson, but of course we have Joe P as well as another centre-back option. Positioning needs to be better. Concentration is much better. Strength is a little bit low. Not as tall as the other players, but again, a very solid option for us. Marking is good. Heading 11, tackling 11. Everything's still going up at the age of 24. 16 appearances, a 6.66. Probably not, you could argue, not given a fair crack of the whip this year. But 14 appearances, starting two from a sub, 6.66. It's not amazing, but our centre-backs do come under a fair amount of pressure. If we just go back to ability and we come down and look at centre-backs, so it is saying Dominic Johnson, Justice Donkor, Joe P and Christian Agnarsson are pretty much identical in terms of ability. And then you've got Will Jones, you've got Kai Webber, who's the youngster that just came through our youth system. He won't be getting first-team football just yet, but he may get a few bench appearances and things like that. And then, of course, we've got Patrick Kaminsky, who should be very, very good, but isn't generally. I don't know what lets him down. I don't know if it's the bravery or a lack of aggression. But whenever we've sort of played him at centre-back, he has struggled. His better performances have come at right-back. He's made a hell of a lot of sub-appearances this year at 15. But because he's pissed off, we're probably going to look to cash him in. And it is Darlington that have made a bid that we've accepted. Although Nottingham Forest are interested, Woking, Forest Green and Darlington all there as well. So we may see if we can get... Let's just see if we can get a little bit more for him, because there's a few other clubs interested, so we might be able to start a bit of a bidding war there and get a bit more money in. And then of course we have Balanzi Balanson in here as well, who has a bit more age on his side at 21. Really good strength, positioning's looking good, tackling's good, marking's good, heading needs to improve a little bit, concentration and bravery very good as well. Aggression, I could probably do with that being a little bit more. Marks opponent tightly, you've learned that trait yourself, we didn't give you that. With marking 11 it's not too bad. In terms of your game time this year, you've had 11, 1 goal, 6.74. Really not too bad. Maybe a loan next season. I'm not sure. We'll see how much we can get you involved in the first team. That anticipation really needs some work as well when we look at that. But generally, in terms of defence, we're doing okay. Left back is a weak spot. We do have Jeff Hogg wherever he is. Where's Jeff Hogg? Where's Jeff Hogg gone? Jeff? Where are you? Jeff, we've got John Richardson. Is it? Oh, there you are, Jeff Hogg. So we've got Jeff Hogg at left back, really lacking on the technicals. Really reached your potential as well. But you are our starting left back. 35 appearances, 6.52 does sort of show you're a weak link in that left back spot. But hopefully you can make it your own. There's not too much coming through to really threaten you. If we go and have a look at... I needed all those still on. Left-sided defenders. You'll see here that if we take out the likes of Johnson, Donkor, Jones, because they're all going to be centre-backs, really, and Jones probably won't be here. I mean, you've got Jay Leach at left-back. Again, technically a little bit poor, but has good pace, acceleration, needs his positioning and off the ball to improve. Work rate, not too bad. He does look pretty good. Then it is Jeff Hogg. Kane Algo was playing back up to Hogg this year. So again, technicals really, really poor for what is a crucial position, but generally has played better when he's come on the pitch. And he's had 12 starting appearances, 18 sub appearances, but 30 total appearances is is good for a 6.76. So maybe Kane Alga might get the nod over Jeff. But then Jeff, again, if you want to change player, just let me know in the comments, because I don't think you've maximised the potential that you had when you first came through. Maybe we can train you for Jay Leach or something like that. And then we've got a number of youngsters who are coming through. So John Richardson, again, looks pretty decent. 19, bit of room to go, can cross the ball. Non-competitive games, 27 and a 6.85, obviously in the under-21s. We've got players like Adam Worthington coming through, who's 17. We've got Daryl Catton, who's more of a centre-back, but he's coming through at the age of 16. And then we get some options. I mean, people like Ibrahim Igwe, I think he's just never going to cut it. So at 19, we probably just sort of, let him go and go and find a new club. But so there's options, but left back definitely is a weak spot in our whole club, to be honest. It's not just in our first team, I would say it is in our whole club. Then moving on to the midfield, we've been basically playing with Supreme Dave in there. Again, lacks a bit of the technical stuff as a threat when on the ball, but has amazing mentals, pretty good physicals for a chance to get involved in the game. So as a ball-winning midfielder in this sort of holding role, his tackling's not amazing, but his work rate, the energy, the aggression he brings actually makes him perform reasonably well. So 36 appearances, 7 goals, 2 assists, and a 6.79. Also, I think we've got to take into account for this season that a lot of these average ratings are skewed by the fact that we played better in the second half of the season after we ditched the 5 at the back. So there's a lot of poor ratings in there. And alongside Connor, and they're both a similar age. Connor playing as the playmaker, passing 12, technique 13, vision, teamwork, leadership, positioning, composure, decisions. I mean, you look at where you need the attributes, and the only one lacking is tackling, and I'm not that fussed about it. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to try and get likes to beat opponent repeatedly, untrained from here. Dribbling 8. He's got flair, but I think try to speak opponent means he gets caught on the ball in the middle of the pitch a little bit. But yeah, generally, I think he's had an okay season. 44 appearances, 2 assists, 6.66. We'd like to see those assists going up a bit more, so we might ask him to take a few more risky passes or try killer balls often as a trait, potentially, and go from there. But those two in centre mid, they are generally then backed up. Well, the other thing is we've got Alex Mirthwaite coming through, who completed the most passes per 90, as we heard in the end of season review, who's probably at a stage to potentially be better than Connor. 23 appearances, 2 assists, 6.77. But we rotate our midfielders loads, so we need 4 good midfielders. So we sort of have Smurthwaite and Connor in the playmaker role, and then we have Supreme Dave, and we have Stuart Richards as the other sort of ball winner. And again, I use the term loosely because tackling is one of his not brilliant attributes, but he has the work rate, the teamwork, determination, decisions, bravery, aggression that you need to do it. Physicals are a little bit lacking, but the mentals in that position are very, very good. And he only wants to be a fringe player. 23 appearances, 6.6. As a backup, it's not too bad. And of course, we also have Lewis Salt, our aging Lewis Salt, who's now 34. He's got another 2 years on his contract after this season. Reached his potential, obviously, but his marking's good, tackling's good, positioning's good. It's just his lack of physicals mean you cannot start him in this role as a ball-winning midfielder. If we look here, agility, pace, and stamina are all shot to pieces at his age of 34. So, yeah, he's a decent option when we need it to be, but not looking too good anymore in terms of a starting position. I'm actually just looking to see. Yeah, I can't say to him, oh, I think you should become a staff member, which is what I was hoping to be able to do. So while I'm here, let's just say, look, you've done really well. While you're on holiday, your conduct has been absolutely amazing. So we'll just say that. So we've got sort of 3 options for the 2 holding midfield, or 5 options, sorry, for the 2 holding midfield roles. Moving on to right wing, which is where we are. If we come into here again, leave all those on, go attacking midfield, and then go to the right. We are absolutely stacked with quality, or reasonable quality at our level, in the right wing position. Obviously, Kai Harding is probably the standout with Andrew Neeson at the moment. Really good pace. Mentals are pretty good as well. And technicals, whilst not thrilling, crossing 10, dribbling 11, first touch 9, and technique 10 in our level of football for Guiseley is pretty pretty good. 39 appearances, 5 assists, 6.63. A lot of that is skewed because you played wing back for quite a lot of the season. And right back. We have utilised you as an attacking right back, which we may do next season as well because of the amount of players we've got that can play on the right wing. So Andrew Neeson, you're all the way down here. You have not really progressed. So again, if you want to change your player, let me know in the comment section because we want to have the patrons getting lots of football. Again, it's not bad. The physicals are very good, lots of pace, which I think we can utilise. The thing with you is that your potential is not there, but you have got decent attributes of where we need them. So technique, 12 is pretty good. Crossing, 9, we can work on that. You're still young at 20. Acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness and pace means you're going to get round people and get into good positions. Again, 21 appearances, 3 assists, 6.62, but it's skewed because we've been playing you at wing back where we trained you up to play there for a little bit. So we'll have to see how it goes. But if you do want to change player, just let me know. Alpha is an interesting one. Can play on the right wing, would prefer to play on the right wing. But what we've been doing is actually utilising you as a attacking midfielder because of your passing, your technique. We've trained you to do killer balls often. So you and Graham Cox sort of rotate. So we're not considering you as a right winger anymore. But the interesting one, coming back off a very good loan spell, if I remember rightly, is Ryan O'Connor. 23 years old. He just has the correct attributes you need as a winger, basically. Pace, acceleration, agility, natural fitness. Balance could be a bit better, but I don't mind that. Decisions, flair, and off the ball are pretty good. Technique is decent. Dribbling is good. First touch is good. And crossing is okay as well. If we can work on that, he's only 23. Been on loan at Glentoran. 31 appearances, 6.87, 8 goals and 3 assists from the right wing. And they have been playing him at right wing up here because that was part of the loan stipulation. So yeah, there's options. Then you've got Jason Lenihan, but we'll look at him for the left wing. Ben Reed is coming through as well, who's got, lacking a bit of pace, but agility, fitness, determination, flair, teamwork, technique, crossing, dribbling. Again, so many options on this right wing spot. It's really, really handy. And then finally, Linton Tunnicliffe is another one who's coming through at 19 years of age. Pace, acceleration, agility, balance, jumping reach, fitness. Jumping reach is amazing for a winger as well. It's really, really handy. Flair, teamwork, technique, dribbling needs to improve. Crossing's okay. Concentration I'd like to be a bit more, but it's not overly crucial. But off the ball needs to significantly improve. So we've got really good options at right wing. And then you come down and it's just so many players that we've got can play at right wing. It's just unfathomable, to be honest. Right, left-hand side, before we go into the middle, Shane Stitt is still doing the job. At 28, he can't really cross, but we play him out here as an inverted winger rather than a winger because of his lack of crossing and his two-footedness. Not the best acceleration, but when he gets on the ball, he's just very good when he gets on the ball. Again, 6'4", pretty tall for a winger, so can tower over smaller fullbacks. 35 appearances, 6 goals, 6 assists, and a 6.83 is doing wonders. Great versatility as well. We like to play him on the right, the left, and through the middle as a shadow striker sometimes. But looking pretty good, and one of those older players that we'll probably be giving quite a bit of game time to next season. One of the highest earners at the club on $5,000 a week as well, so we need to get the most out of that. But then Jason Lenihan is after him. Again, technicals need a lot of work. He's only 20, 5'5", so like the opposite basically to Shane Stitt. But pace, balance, agility and acceleration, he will beat people when he gets on the ball. Dribbling needs to improve, but when he gets on the ball with his pace, he will be good. In fact, what we need to do with you is basically say, I can't do a new trait because he's on holiday. But when he comes back, or is it because he's on loan? No, he is still here. He is at our club. When he comes back off holiday, we're going to ask him to knock the ball past the opponent, because then you don't need really good dribbling. You just need acceleration, pace, and agility, so that you kick it in front of you and fucking leg it past him. Excuse my language. But yeah, so Jensen Lenihan is there. Joshua Rose got some good first team football this year as well. Pace, acceleration, agility, all good. Crossing, dribbling, both 11, which is probably one of the best we've had for a winger. Technique, work rate, off the ball needs to improve. As you can see, we're focusing on that quite a lot. Determination, flair, and composure, good as well. 11 appearances, 4 assists, 1 player of the match on a 6.82, so he will probably get some more game time next year. He actually had a handful of appearances last year, getting a 7.03, so definitely one to keep an eye out for into next season. We've got Magnussen here as well. Again, crossing, dribbling, really, really good. Pace, acceleration. Needs to up composure, and not fussed about long shots, but the work rate's a bit low as well, which is a bit of a problem when you need grafters and hard workers because you don't have the technical ability of the other teams. But again, there is options here which will allow us to rotate, play well, really good personality and resolute as well. But 18 appearances, a 6.61. He was sort of shifted around, Magnussen. He was left, he was right, he was back here. We tried to play him as a wing back. We tried to get him as a shadow striker and train him up in attacking midfield. He had a few games up front. So I don't think that rating's very indicative of how well he can potentially play. And then again, so many options down the wings that we've got back up when we need to. And obviously Conrad Sass has just come through the youth team, who looks like he's going to be very, very good. When you compare him to someone like, I mean, let's go and have a look at Magnussen, who we've just looked at. So Magnussen has the physical, a bit more speed. But in terms of like technical ability, Conrad Sass, who's 15, is coming through our team. He's better at defending, same mental, same aerial, same technical, better at attacking, better vision. You sort of like, do we lean towards someone like Conrad Sass straight away to try and get a boost in those attributes where we can and see how it goes? So again, lots of options on the left-hand side. Into the central position, again, this is where Graham Cox is our starter in attacking midfield. He is just... His ability to pick a pass is absolutely incredible. So really good first touch, so he brings the ball under control, can get the pass off with good technique, he can spot the right pass with good vision, make the right decisions with 14, and is always concentrating and isn't afraid to get involved in the game with good bravery as well. And now we've traded the tries, kill a ball, often trait, he should get a few more assists. So 41 appearances, 6 goals, 6 assists and 6.72. He was one that definitely, when we went to the 5 at the back system, really felt the pain of that new system. And I think that cost us quite a lot. Behind him, we do have Supreme Dave that could play shadow striker. But as I mentioned, he's sort of playing in this more defensive role because of his physical attributes. Shane Stitt has been in there. Alpha Koff we talked about. You're basically the rotation option for Graham Cox. Again, we've got you with tries, killer balls. I think it's crucial for this sort of in behind the striker role. And then again, coming through the youth team, we have some people. We have Rick Astley's, brother, John Astley, who is looking much better recently. A bit of pace, acceleration. We do need his passing to improve, but dribbling, first touch. I mean, again, an option on the right wing, that could be very, very useful for us. It really could. Or as the advance forward, if we can get that finishing and that composure up, because he's got a bit of pace, dribbling, anticipation needs to improve. But yeah, we've got options. It's now just around picking who we want to do what and focusing on which youngsters we send out. We've got an affiliate now, a junior affiliate club in Radcliffe that we can send youngsters to for first team football. And it's worth pointing out, I gave a contract to Vivaldi and Bala because he's got an amazing name. Vivaldi is such a good first name. We've brought him in on a youth contract, so it's costing us nothing. We're just going to see if he does improve at all, but it doesn't look likely. He's sort of here because of Della Donna, which is an amazing name, and he got a contract as well back in the day. So yeah, he's going to expire there, and we'll probably let him go. And then we go to the strikers. So looking at the strikers, obviously Carter Nelson is up there as one of our best, but actually got outperformed by Zhevzhen Villions in terms of rating and goals. But Charlie Carter Nelson only had half a season at the club. And interestingly, Zhevzhen Villions doesn't rate incredibly highly in our sort of manager stars attributes, but that finishing of 14 is so good. He gets into, when he's in the position to score, he generally scores what he should. So 31 appearances, 13 goals, 6.87, 2 player of the match awards. It is really, really good. I just wanted to have a look at stats. Can we see? Yeah, so I mean, look at this, right? Sky Bet champion, expected goals 6.9, 13 goals. His finishing is making up for the lack of all the other attributes he has. So he's still probably going to be leading our line next year. We use Carter Nelson as an option to come off the bench and go from there. Anywhere he should have scored 1, let's say, he's outperformed. Carabao Cup, he got 3 with 1.79. So the XG is looking very, very good. And he doesn't take penalties either. And he's pretty good at winning fouls. 45 fouls against. He's given 57 fouls on him, 45 fouls he's caused, or is it the other way around? It might be the other way around. But either way, they're pretty good numbers. And to boot, he's pretty tall, got a decent jumping reach, so we don't have to just fire crosses in one sort of way. We can put them in the air, we can put them low, we can whip them in because his acceleration is decent and his off the ball's not too bad. So he's one of those that he's got the attributes you need, and the star ratings don't really align to that. But Conrad Sass we've looked at, John Astley we've looked at. We have Cyril Okonkwo, who, honestly, this guy should probably be in our first team. His finishing of 14 makes him very similar to Yevgen Villion's, apart from the fact he can dribble, he's got quicker acceleration, he's faster, his off the ball's good, he can pass. His decisions are so low. His decisions are so low for what we need, and anticipation as a striker, it needs to be better. But I think he might come back from his loan spell where he's been very good with 7 assists, 1 goal in 16, 7.25 back in Nigeria. Obviously a much lower standard of football. But yeah, again, another option on the right wing, could play up front. So we definitely have the ability to mix things up. And then if we really want to mix things up, we've got Lirak Hartas, who is 6'2", good finisher, good composure, determination, passing, heading, balance, jumping, reach, fitness, stamina, all looks really good. I don't likes to play way out of trouble. Likes to switch ball to wide areas, which is not too bad if he can then uses off the ball to get it into the area to get back onto it. So someone to keep an eye on. He got a loan move last season, 11 appearances, 3 goals, not amazing. But in the I hope you can see this. If I remember to move my head, I might move myself for this whole video. In 15 starts and 12 sub appearances, he got 19 goals for the under 21s, an average of 7.41. So he clearly knows where the goal is and could definitely be an option for us going forward. Gary Kempson's been here a while as well. And then you get into the more older players that aren't really cutting it. So Desado Marquez, I think we might try to sell. He's not good enough for the right wing or up front. So we'll see if we can cash in on him. And then we've got, who else is older down here? Hugo Beat at the age of 20. Not going to cut it. We'll probably let him go or sell him and get it go and be a bit ruthless like that. But there we go. I wanted to give a bit of a breakdown. I've not really done that before. And I do realise I've completely forgot to do how's the rest of the world looking at the moment. But I've spoken too much about this already going into the next season and what we want to do. So I hope you enjoyed it, going through the positions and the players we've got and what's going on. Patreons, if you want to change your name, change your player, let me know down below. I'm happy to move things around. Obviously, you can tell I'm recording this in advance. I've got my parents visiting next weekend, so I need to try and get some videos out before they get here. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. That was a little end of season review. If you like this sort of video, let me know, and we'll do this at the end of every season rather than play like the last game of the season if there's nothing to play for. If we're playing for something, then we'll always do the last game of the season. But if not, we can come back and do a sort of review like this and go a bit of looking at who's done well, what are we lining up for next year, which youngsters are coming through, and how we're looking. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.